Welcome back guys, Slyback in here. So with the recent changes to D.Va's defense mechanic, there's now a lot of calls saying that she's actually overpowered. Now I'd like to put out another argument that she's just more in line with where the other tanks have always been, and she's no longer a bottom dwelling tank. And I mean that with all respect, because I love D.Va, I've always loved playing her, I love her even more now that I can actually use her as a frontline tank rather than a backline harasser. And I think it's more the fact that people are not used to dealing with her in her current state rather than the fact that she's overpowered. I can only approach this from me playing it and not from the opposition point of view, because I don't usually have a lot of problems playing against D.Va, but like I say, a lot of people were saying that she is overpowered. So let's see what we're actually dealing with here. So the defense matrix stops a lot of incoming damage, of course, so let's compare it to say Reinhardt's shield, and it falls well short of Reinhardt's shield. But then people are saying, okay, well, she does a lot of damage, but then let's compare her to Roadhog. Roadhog does a heck of a lot more damage than what she does, so she kind of falls like in between those two. That's where I'd like to put it, in between a Reinhardt and a Roadhog. She does good defense, she does good damage, but not extreme on either end. And what I see from playing D.Va is people just stop firing at you. Like, you shuck your defense matrix up for a second, they'll stop firing. It's like, well, what are you doing? Just keep firing. If you stop firing, I can drop my defense matrix and let it regenerate. If you keep firing, I have to keep it up to actually stop the incoming damage. So yeah, a lot of people just seem to play against her wrong. You chuck the defense matrix up and they stop, and it's like, well, you're kind of falling into my trap. My whole trap is to stop you from doing damage, right? I've effectively done that without having to have my defense matrix up. So when the time comes when I do actually need it up, like against an ult for example, it's there. It's been recharging the whole time, and I've actually got it available to me nearly fully charged most of the time, and I can just pop it and nullify most of the ults that are being fired off. And that's kind of a result of the playstyle people have used against her, where they see the defense matrix go up, they stop attacking her, and that's the end of it. In heavy damage games where there's a lot of damage incoming towards the team, and I've had to have my defense matrix up a lot of the time, she's a heck of a lot weaker, because once her defense matrix has gone down, her giant hitbox, which for those of you who don't know, basically her whole front shield is her head, she takes a heck of a lot of damage once her defense matrix has actually gone down. And then the other teams that we struggle against is the teams with Zarya on it, because her beam isn't deflected by our defense matrix. So if Zarya's on the other team, that nullifies a lot of the effect that D.Va actually has. And I think people are just so used to not fighting against D.Va that they don't kind of understand how to counter her yet. So it's a bit concerning within the first week of her becoming useful that people are screaming for nerfs, which would see her relegated again to only being useful in very specific situations, rather than just a tank that you can use in most situations, the same way that Reinhardt is picked nearly every match, the same way that Roadhog is picked quite often, the same way that Winston has his little niche there against Genji and Tracer, and obviously able to provide extra shielding. And I'd hate to see D.Va just relegated back to a capture point diving tank or a backline harasser, when, you know, really we've got enough backline harassers. We don't really need another one. And do we really need two tanks that can perform the same role as a backline harasser, being both Winston and D.Va? Whereas in my opinion, what we really need is more frontline tanks. You know, we have Reinhardt, who's picked pretty much every single match, as I said earlier. Whereas now D.Va's kind of giving us another option where we can substitute some of the defense for a little bit more attack on top of Reinhardt, and I think D.Va's in a really good place at the moment, and I'd hate to see anything drastically change that would push her back down the totem pole of effective tanks. Now, I hate to end this video on a sour note, but you know, get good, get good. She's not that hard to fight against once you know how to actually counter her. Is she more powerful than she was? Definitely. Is she overpowered? I don't actually think so. Anyway guys, I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.